morning, my name is Bilal and today we gonna learn how to do this. So first of all, the design was made by Novembre, I guess that's how we pronounce it, I'm not sure, and it's called Adaptation. So I will leave the website link in the description. So basically it's a sofa with one leg. I want to do like a quick animation transforming from a normal couch to this adaptation couch. Yeah, first let's get our model. Since I'm not gonna model the couch, let's just search it on the Blender Kit add-on. So let's do the couch more problem. Okay, we're gonna use this one, Sofa by MNDV. Let's drag it our scene. Let's delete everything. Okay, so let's talk about the mindset of this animation. So in the beginning, I wanted the couch to just rotate like this for the one of the legs to just vanish and just drop like this. Then I thought, so I want a reason for the couch to move up like this, then goes down. So we need a reason for the couch to like go up this way. So I decided to make this leg like the push that we need. So first let's choose our leg and let's Control L to choose the connected okay, Control L to choose the connected mesh. Press P to separate and selection. Now we have these legs on their own. Okay, so we need to work with a shape key. So I'm gonna choose this leg. So let's move closer. Let's go to the shape key tab. So let's make a base and let's add a new key. So I want this to go up. So we have our key. So it's just like this. Okay. So let's animate this. So let's go to, let's say, the 15th frame. Let's add a keyframe and let's move like, let's see 10 frame for now. Let's make this 1. Let's see. Let's go to the graph editor. So we need like an impact animation, and to get this we need to edit the curve. So I want it to like an impulse. So to be honest, I want it to start slow, then to finish very fast, so something like that. And this will give us enough momentum or like force for the couch to rotate in this direction. So let's see. Yeah, I like this more. Maybe it's more a little bit too dramatic. Let's see. Yeah, maybe 10 frames a bit too much, so let's lower this, make it like 8. So maybe it should not start very slow. Yeah, like this. Yeah, so I got this graph shape. So it starts fairly slow, then it speeds up a lot. Yes, so let's animate all of this. So I don't like to animate multiple pieces, since we're gonna separate a lot of this. I like to animate one empty and just link them to one empty. So let's add an empty here, and yeah, since this is our pivot points, let's make it here. Let's delete this empty, we do not need it anymore. So let's go to object constraints, let's choose child of, and let's choose our empty. Now if we move this, it's gonna move with us. And let's do the same also here, child of. So we want at this frame for this to be at 0 degrees rotation, and let's see at 40. Let's press R and rotate it like this. We don't want to be too dramatic, but like, let's see, like this. Let's add a keyframe, and while we at it, let's turn on auto keying, and let's see at frame 55 we're gonna want it to come back. Yeah, so we need to play a lot with this profile, since we have like a force that make the rotation happen. So this is gonna start fairly let's only show the Y rotation. This is gonna start fairly fast, so let's play with the handle. Yeah, maybe this is a bit too dramatic. Let's see. Yeah, that's a bit too dramatic. Okay, let's. Yeah, I like this more. So yeah, it will be fast. It's gonna slow a bit in the top point, then it also be fast because of the gravity. So almost gonna be a symmetrical shape. Maybe you can add a bit of overshoot here by rotating this point. Let's see. I like it. Yeah, while we're at it, I think we can make this a bit faster. So by one frame. Yeah, and we need to make this all move one frame early. So let's grab all of it. GX1, -1. Okay. Nice. But we do not want to come to our initial rotation. We actually want it to rotate a bit, yeah, like this. So I want this point to touch the X plane like this. So we're gonna delete this, and we're gonna also rotate this, make it fairly big. Let's move it a bit here closer to make it faster. Maybe even one frame also. It's all about the feeling. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Okay, now we can work on the shape. So if we go back to our reference, the right hand is also rotating with the couch, but the left hand almost straight. We need to account for this. And of course the setting of the couch is straight, so let's work on this. So at here, let's do the same what we did with the leg. So let's add a shape key, let's add a base, then let's add another shape key. So since I only want to work with the cushions, let's do them Control L. They have a lot of, okay, they're separated. It's gonna be, let's see. So I selected every polygon that is not the cushion. So I'm gonna edge to hide them. gonna list A, select all, B selection. Now we have the cushion on its own. It's gonna be easier to work with. So right now we have rotated about 3.6 degrees. So how will we work with this? So I want the cushion to follow the rotation of the empty until it reaches this point. So when it's almost zero, so I guess at frame 54. So at frame 54, I want this to be zero, and I want to animate the influence on the child. So at this point, so at 53 gonna be 100% and 54 gonna be 0%. Yeah, yeah. So let's go like six. Let's yeah. So let's choose these areas. But firstly, let's put our pivot point here. So let me choose this polygon. Shift S, cursor to selected. Then again, let's choose the bottom half around this. Let's open, turn on proportional editing, and let's make the pivot point our 3D cursor. Now we can rotate this, so let's rotate until it roughly matches. Then we can play with our parameters. We can lower the influence. This is a bit too low. We can see a lot of hard edges in here, so let's make it 0.1 and let's see. Yeah, and I know it's, yeah, but I don't want to use rotation. Rather, I want to use shear, because shear will not affect the location, or rather the X location of each polygon. So if we move like this, it just go down, go up and down. So let's move until it roughly matches. It's okay even if it's went in, we're gonna adjust it later. And we need to play with the influence, so 0.06. Yeah, I don't want the upper area to be affected, so 0.04. Yeah, 3.5. Yeah, maybe 3.8. Yeah. So and I want it to be this be straight, since we're gonna also rotate this arm. So I don't think we have to manipulate it anymore. Maybe we can take all of this and move on the GX, rotate it and shear it a bit, not on this, maybe on this axis, yeah, just a bit. And I want this line to be relatively same with this line, so maybe we can also move this on the x-axis. You do not have to do this, but like it's just for my sake. Now we want to also animate this this value, so let's see. At this point gonna be 0. And where is do we end? At 56. I want this to be 1, of course. So let's see. For some reason it's a bit chunky, but I think it's because I'm recording. Oh, so let's turn on decimate. Maybe this is the reason. Yeah, this was the reason. Okay. Yeah, it's much faster now. It looks good to now, but you might want to play with the animation value. So let's work on this. So still I want it to be this flat, so let's hide the influence and work with the value. So we want this to be straight, start as straight. Let's see. All these stays like this. I'll roughly match the animation. Yeah. Yeah, I think this will work. So let's see how it comes. Nice. Now let's add some life to it using secondary animations. So let's do that. So now let's add our secondary animations. So I want the sofa or the couch when it's hit to have like some kind of a bounce. So let's go back to our empty and let's play with this. So let's choose our last keyframe. Let's shift deduplicate it. And let's make this free so we can change this without affecting the whole curve. So let's make it like this. So this is this curve implying like a bounce effect. Let's see. Yeah, it's too fast. So let's see again. Too fast and too high. So let's make it a bit subtle. It's still too fast. Yeah. Maybe we can make it bounce twice. So let's duplicate this. Make this free. Let's take this handle, move it a bit, make it way less dramatic, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I like that, maybe even less dramatic. Oh, we did not save yet. Wow. Let's say YouTube couch walk through, something like that. Oh, I spelled YouTube wrong. Nice. Yeah, maybe the second bounce needs to be a bit faster. So yeah, maybe let's make it back and make it way subtle. Yeah, I like this. And we also can add secondary animation to the cushion itself. But first I want to fix this. So let's also fix. So let me choose this. Right, I'm going to select so it's also in so it's also in the bottom. I think that work. So yeah, change the muscle. Yeah, I'm gonna start it. So let's do the top. And this too. Control I to the inverse selection and H to hide. So I want this. So let's choose all of this. Around 3.5, 3.6 degrees, something like that. And I want this also to rotate to be straight. So let's make our pivot point around this area. So and let's choose the point. Let's delete all this. We can rotate it, but I'm also gonna choose shear with proportional editing, and let's make this connected only, so it only can affect like the linked, that's the polygons that are linked in together. So that's a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I also might want to fix this, so I want it also to be straight. So let's choose. Yeah, okay. First, let's make this our pivot point, and then let's choose all of these. Choose here and let's rotate, make it as straight as possible. And then let's move it to the axis a bit down. Let's see. Ah, my god. So let's animate this in this like following the same curvature as the cushion. So at this I want this to be 0, and around 56 I want this to be 1. Also following the same shape of the curve, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. We make it a bit longer. Like, how about this long? Yeah, not bad also. I guess I'll keep it like this, a bit smoother. Now we can also animate this. Let's add a secondary animation to this. So I still love to work with empty, so let's add an empty and let's make it around this area. So let's box select this area, shift S, crochet select, then add an empty. If you don't have a shape, let's add arrow this time, okay? Yeah, let's make it big so arrow is not visible, let's make it a cube. So let's make this a child of the empty, so once it hits, I want this to have 0 keyframe at 0 animation. So let's add a keyframe, and then let's move it a bit up, then a bit down, then a bit up, then again to original rotation. So it's almost the same secondary animation as this couch, but with 1 or 2 frame offset. So let's clean and let's only work on the Y rotation. So again, we want the first and the last animation to be vector, or like to have rather fast in, ease out. So because it's bouncing after all. So let's see. Yeah, we need to. This also need to be vector. So let's make that the middle, make that a bit larger, smaller. Yeah. Let's see. I want this to touch, so let's go down. Yeah, I don't want the second bounce to be as dramatic, so let's make it like this. Let's make this vector. Let's see. Let's move all of this one from the right. So yeah, I like this, but I need it to when the couch bounce, I need to have like similar animation to it. So let's see. At this frame, I need it to be, so at 56 it has like have a zero rotation, and at 57 it's gonna move a bit, so it's gonna be vector. So, yeah, something like that. Yeah, maybe this can have a 3 bounce to make it a bit different. So very subtle, very quick bounce. Let's see. Maybe yes, a bit slow. Only 1, 2 frames. Yeah, I like them. Yeah, I like that. Maybe the first bounce is a bit too dramatic. Let's settle it down a bit. Now, let's see if there's any artifact that we can work on. I don't like that this collapse with each other, so we can go to the shape key and we can deform this a bit. Let's turn all control, so we can object. So this is a button district, so we can have like some sort of creases. Let's choose one point and move it. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like so. So interference. So we can get rid of this now. So let's see. Once it's set here, so let's see. Here it has yellow form, and 4 frames is here. Yeah. So let's see how I Oh yeah, yeah, we can have that so we can separate all and delete the animations. Yeah. Like that, let's set our frame range from 0 to, let's say 100. Let's work on the render. So I'm gonna make a simple render. So let's make a toggle. Let's add a label modifier. Something like that. Let's add a arrow. So I need to make this 200. So let's make this fairly dramatic. Make this let's say 5. Yeah, 5 seems. Yeah, that's great. So let's also make this really something like that. Yeah, we can do other for these. Yes, we have to increase our focus. We can go down. Something like that. Maybe we have to get separate. We can up it down. Yeah, like that. Let's change. Yeah, let's do these plugins. So let's choose. This is how I choose cycle, but let's do it. Yes, it's not really managing. It's really interesting. Yeah, let's go to let's make a home. And it's supposed to be. Let's see. Let's make a image. We can go. Let's down to 5. Let's add a light. Let's add a light. So that's the off of the now. Let's make it. Let's make our whole couch. Yeah. Yeah, the multi so let's just like I said. Okay, let's add another light. The light around here. Now that I see it, I'll probably start the deforming animation at here. It's a bit too fast, so let's work on it fast. So let's go here. Let's open our graph editor. So let's close this fast. Yeah. So let's see. So at this point, yeah. So let's drag this here and see what will happen. Yeah, I like this more. Yeah, even a bit 2 frames or like 3 frames. Let's see. Yeah, I like this more. So I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah, let's re-render it and see. Let's take our animation, so let's open it again. Yeah, I think this is more like it. Yeah. So I will just show you how I did the motion graphic real quick. So I have let's see if it is recording. Yeah. So I have this. This is just a text. You just add a text. You just put up edit, just like one so far like anything. Let's say armchair. And choose the font. Then you're gonna convert it to mesh. Then you're gonna use the same method of using shape keys. So in this case, I have 2 shape keys. I have this and the other shape key is this one. So maybe I will disable this one. So I'm just going in the edit mode and transforming them using shear, not rotation, and proportional editing and making this effect. And you can get the same effect in After Effects, but since I don't know After Effects, I'm more familiar with Blender. This for me is easy to do this way. So you're gonna render this as a PNG sequence and add it to your render. So it's you don't have to, but I think it adds a bit more of character. Yeah. So we're gonna put it together and with some sound design, and we're gonna have our final render. So this is my first YouTube video, and I know my my accent isn't the most clear or the easiest to understand. So if you have any problems or any question, feel free to comment or DM me on Instagram. I'll gladly help you, and I wish you a good day. See ya.